welcome for another edition of Bass Bytes Live. I'm Mike DelVisco, and I'm kind of decided to do a little series on some new baits that the guys over at Gary Yamamoto Custom Baits have. And the first one's not really a new bait. It's been out for a little bit now, a couple of years at least, and it's a one of my favorite baits to fish. When the fish get suspended, they kind of get in the water column. They're not on the bottom, they're not on the top, and you got to catch them somewhere in between. And that could be a hard thing a lot of times. And it's a Swim Senko. And for me, this bait, although you can fish it in a lot of different ways, you can fish it shallow, you can fish it around cover, you can fish it out deep, you can fish it on the bottom. But for me, really where this bait shines is when the fish are in the middle of the water column. And it can be deep, you know, over 30, 40 foot of water for some of you guys up north fishing smallmouth. This time of year down south, where I live, our fish get around those shad and they kind of get in the middle, and they school up in the middle of pockets and off of points and things like that. And when that tends to happen, and they won't eat a topwater bait because sometimes they get a little finicky. The Swim Senko for me is an absolute dynamite bait. And what I'm going to show you here today is a little bit about how I go about rigging this particular bait and the type of head that I fish. I'm going to fish this on a lead head, but it's another lead head from Yamamoto, and it wasn't really designed for fishing on a Swim Senko. It was designed for a hula grub, and it's their Series 35 lead head, which is a hula head with no weed guard. The other hula head that they have has a weed guard that comes up, and it's much more weedless. This is an open hook design hula head with no guard, and it's the Series 35. And I fish both 3/8 ounce and 1/4 ounce, and it really depends upon how deep of water I'm fishing, how much wind we've got. I typically like as light of a head as I can possibly get away with. Bluebird days, no wind, not a ripple on the water, real bright, real clear. I tend to like this 1/4 ounce head because it's going to fall a lot slower. When the fish are up near the top of the water column a little bit, that's when I like to fish this particular head because it's just going to give the bait a bit slower fall. When they get a little bit deeper in the water column or get a little bit of wind, I need to control the bait a little bit more and get some of the slack out of my line. The 3/8 ounce size head works really, really good. But both of those heads are awesome. And a little bit about rigging this bait right here. There it is, close up, all rigged up, and very, very simple to rig. We're just going to take the head and insert the Swim Senko about 1 inch to 1.25 inches up the hook, poke it through, and then you can do one of two things. You slide your bait on up, and I like to put one little drop of glue on, super glue, and glue the head onto the bait, so that basically what you get is you get a nice snug bait. It's not going to pull off. And one of the reasons that I like this Series 35 hula head is that it has a really nice keeper on it. So when you snug the bait up and put a little drop of glue, they literally have to eat this thing off of the head to get it off of there. The other thing too is that it has a really, although it's a thin wire hook, it's really, really strong. So when I'm fishing this bait, it's kind of like a reaction bait. I don't want a real thick hook. I want something that's thin. I want a head design that's going to let this bait, as I'm winding it, glide through the water real nice and give it a real nice subtle action. And because of the way this head's designed, it's really, really compact, and makes it glide through the water real nice and doesn't give the bait a lot of unnecessary action that it really doesn't need. This bait's going to swim really nice just by winding it in. And really, I'm going to kind of keep this tip simple. We'll go into a little bit about the line and the rod that I fish a little bit later in other episodes, and maybe we'll do some stuff on colors. And then we're going to actually get to talk about some of the new baits, which are my favorites, the new D-Shad and the new Hula Swimmer. But for right now, we're going to talk about this Swim Senko, and that is my rigging tip, and that's how I do it. As far as fishing, you know, where I'm going to actually throw this bait, look around in your fish finder where you're seeing pods of bait. They're in the middle of pockets, out off of points, drops, things like that. That's where this bait's going to shine. And the retrieve and the cast and where you're going to fish, it's pretty simple. You know, count it down to, you know, where the fish are and slow, steady retrieve all the way back to the boat. Pretty much like fishing a little swim bait. But that's the combination that I fish. It's deadly all throughout the year, but in particular right now, this time of year, mid-fall for some of you guys, late fall for others. I know the smallmouth are biting pretty good up north right now. Awesome smallmouth catcher. The spotted bass and the big largemouth are biting down where I live right now, and we're catching tons of fish on this bait right now. So that's my rigging tip for the Swim Senko. Join me back here. We're going to do more of these. I hope that helps you guys out a little bit about giving you some insight on just one way you can rig this bait and fish it. And there's plenty others. So we're going to do probably in the next one, we'll do a little shallow water fishing with the Swim Senko. I'm Mike DelVisco. We'll see you back here next time.
If you're a hardcore bass pro or just a weekend warrior, call us or log in to get the latest products. Our entire staff is made up of fanatical bass anglers. We have one of the largest inventories in the nation. So when you absolutely gotta have it, shop Bass Tackle Depot, where the pros shop. 1-800-591-7171 or BassTackleDepot.com 24 hours a day.